graders, and let's take out our math workbook and look at last night's homework. And last night you had to complete in your workbook pages 224 and 225. So go ahead, if you have not already done so, put your name on the top of your paper, because you will be tearing this out and turning it in to me in the completed work bin, okay? So I sent home a protractor with you last night because you had to use your protractor to measure the indicated angle. And the indicated angle were the ones with the arrows right here. So in remembering everything that we've learned so far about protractors, we know that we put the vertex of, which is the corner of our angle, right here in the middle where our circle is. And then we line up the bottom line with this line that goes across the protractor. And we measure the line that goes through the top right here. Now, you have to know that an acute angle is going to be smaller than 90 degrees, and an obtuse angle is going to be greater than 90 degrees. And when I look at this already, I know that this is an acute angle. It's a small angle, okay? So that will help me determine what number on my protractor that I use. So I'm going to put that right there in that vertex. I'm going to line up the bottom line, and I'm going to look. And it appears to me that my line right here is crossing somewhere between the 40 and the 50. Now, if you said between the 130 and the 140, that would be an obtuse angle. And we know that it's not. So it's crossing between the 40 and the 50. Now, if you said 45 degrees, I will count that correct. And if you said 46 degrees, because it almost looks like it's 1 degree past it, I will count that correct. So for problem number 1, I will accept 45 degrees or 46 degrees. Okay? All right, let's go down to the next problem. Again, let's first look at the angle they want us to measure. I can go ahead and see that this is greater than 90 degrees. So I know that I'm going to be looking at my numbers on my protractor that measure greater than 90. Now, it would be kind of hard for me to use my protractor like this and measure it. But guys, look at here. You can take your paper and go upside down with it, just like that, and still use your protractor. So again, we are going to put our circle right here on the vertex. We are also going to line up that bottom line with the line that's on the protractor. And then we are going to look at where our angle measures right here on the top. Now, if you said, oh, it's 80 degrees, then that would be saying that this is an acute angle. But we said at the beginning, nope, this is bigger than 90, so it's got to be an obtuse. So we want to use that top number. And it goes directly right in the middle of 100 degrees. So the answer to this problem is 100 degrees. Okay? So that was page 224. Let's go ahead and look at your other page that you had for homework, which was 225. And for each of these lines and angles, you had to draw an example. All right, so here we go. Number 1, you had to draw a line segment. Remember, a line segment is a piece of a line, and it has a point on each end. Okay? A line has arrows on both ends because it just keeps going and going and going in both directions. A ray has an end point on one side of the line, and then on the other side it has an arrow because it keeps going and going and going on one side, but then on the other side it stops. Okay. So question number 4 wants you to draw perpendicular lines. And remember, perpendicular lines cross at a 90-degree angle. So you want to make sure that your lines cross at a 90-degree angle. Parallel lines are lines that never touch. Think about the 2 L's right here. They're never going to cross. And they are lines, so they need to have their arrow because they keep going in both directions. A right angle, we know that it goes straight up and down and straight left to right. It looks like an L. We can draw our little box right there in the corner. An acute angle, now you may have something different here, but you want to make sure that your acute angle measures smaller than this right angle. So I'm going to make mine smaller than my right angle. Yours may be a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. But then our obtuse angle, we know, we think of obese, it's bigger than 90 degrees. It's going to have to measure bigger than this right angle. So I'm going to put my bottom line, but if I went straight up and down, that would be a right angle. So I've got to make it bigger so that it is an obtuse angle. All right, so make sure you tear out these two pages and your name is on top of them, on both pages, that is, and then go ahead and turn this in right now to the completed work bin.